Okay, I'm going to go do another test with the new DeWalt 801. Get rid of this light and turn on the other one. Okay. Okay, we got enough. Let's start this test. Okay. I had a subscriber wanted to know if I could run a couple of my drills against the new DeWalt 801. Well, this is the Milwaukee 3601-20. This came out about a year ago, year and a half. Just brushless. It's only got 550 inch-pounds. I do have the 8 amp forged battery on it. So, okay. And use a little 4-inch, timber locks. Speed 2. Okay, now it's time to switch over. Put her in. And speed 2. Okay. That does it. Let's put another one in. Okay. Now, let's go to the one that's a little bit stronger. The Flex Compact Hammer Drill FX 1231. This puts out 650 inch-pounds with a big 6 amp stacked lithium battery. Of course it did that. Okay. Now, let's go up to the new Ryobi hammer drill that just came out a month and a half ago. PBL HM102. This is 850 inch-pounds with a new Edge battery that came out last year. It's a 21/7 cell. Tablets. Okay. Of course it did that. These are little. Okay. Now, let's go with the brand new DeWalt XR DCD 801 with the 4 amp power pack down to 2 cells. Now, let's switch out the 4-amp power pack to the 3.5 stack lithium. You know, the power stack. Okay, they all did it. We all know we jumped up. This has about 1100 watts, which is, I understand that's probably close to 1,000 inch-pounds. 850 inch-pounds. 650 inch-pounds. And 550 inch-pounds. Okay, now I'm going to remove these, but not with the drills. Take a chance in stripping them. Okay. We will now remove them with the DeWalt DCF 860. I'm tired of trying to remove all of these fasteners and strip them all out. Drills take a toll on fasteners. I am going to keep some of them in just to hold this wood in. I'll just put it in and let that stay. Bad enough this takes a beating to the fasteners. That one's going to stay in there. So is that one. Try to remove at least one more of these. I can hold this on with the clamps. Okay. That's good enough. Okay. Wow, that's a hot one. Okay. Pretty good job with the 4-amp power pack. Okay. Now, let's throw a little more light on the subject. Okay. Now, line them all back up in a respective power. Now, let me see. Okay. Now, let's see if we can do this without having a problem. Okay. Okay. Let's go with the Milwaukee. Brushless. Okay. Speed 2 with the 8 amp forge battery on it. Let's put a new hole in here. Let's see. You can do it in speed 2. What do you know? Okay. Now, let's put it into flex compact. Okay. Now, let's try to remove it without screwing it up with the 860. And sometimes that's pretty hard not to do. Okay. Now, let's try the flex compact. What do you know? It did it too, in speed 2. Okay. Okay. Now let's remove it again with the DeWalt 860. Okay, let's go with the Ryobi, 2nd gen, 850 inch-pounds. What do you know? It did it too in speed 2. Should be able to do it. The other weaker ones did. Okay. Remove it again. Okay. Now let's try with the 801. And speed 2. Okay. Speed 2 with the 801 with the 3.5 power stack, then we'll switch over to the power pack. That's even faster. Okay. Now, four amp power pack. Let's remove it with the 860 again. Boy, is this lag getting hot. Okay, with the 4 amp power pack, let's take the 801 to it. starting to slip on me already, but it's pretty quick. Okay, let that just stay in there now. Okay. Okay. Now, let's do this. Let's go again with the Milwaukee brushless, with the most powerful battery out of the bunch, the 8-amp forge. But the drill ain't powerful, just the battery is. Okay. Now, let's run these in. This is all virgin wood here. Let's start right about here. This is my timber from my big mega wood for testing. I pulled it off of it. It's been sitting for months now. Speed 2. Let's see if this can do it in speed 2. I doubt it. Nope, she gave up. Look at that. Speed 2, she gave up. Okay, let's let that one stay in there. That's 550 inch-pounds for you. Okay. Now, let's go with the compact flex. I don't think it'll even be able to do that. I doubt it. It's only another 100 inch-pounds. Okay. Okay, let's see. That's doing it in speed 2. Nope. That looks like it's about even with the Milwaukee. Now, let's go speed 1. Okay. Now let's go speed 1 on the Milwaukee. Yep, that did it. Okay. Now, let's put it back in the 860. Now, let's put this other one into the DeWalt 2nd gen, 850 pounds. It's actually a pretty scientific test I'm doing here to see what drill can do what with what size fastener. Now let's remove these. I'm not using the drill either. Forget it. Okay. Now, let's go with the Ryobi, or as they call it, the Cryobi. And I'm going to need another glove to be able to do this. I always like starting to fasten it with my right hand because I'm right-handed. Okay. Put it right here. Or my left hand, I mean. Okay. Let's just keep doing this. Speed 2 with the Ryobi, Wow. Did it in speed 2. Look at that. Okay now. 850 inch-pounds. That's okay. That's a big power difference in these tools. Because the Milwaukee and the Flex are weak. They're absolutely weak. They can't do that kind of stuff. 550 inch-pounds for the Milwaukee and 650 for the Flex Compact. Okay, now running the DeWalt 801 with the 4-amp power pack. Lost one cell. Okay. And speed 2. Wow, that cut out. That's kind of a shock. We'll give it one more shot. Wow, I am shocked that the Ryobi beat it. Okay, now, let's try to remove it. Let's try to drive it now. Well, it didn't quite go all the way down in speed 2. Well, that's a crying shame that I lost the Ryobi. Please. This drill is, by itself, is 180 bucks. The Ryobi is like 130. Wow, that's an embarrassment. The DeWalt loses the Ryobi. Okay, now, let me take the power pack off. Now, let's remove this one. Now, let's put the 3.5 power stack onto the, maybe the 3.5 power stack gives the 801 a little more oomph over the power pack, because this is pouch cells. You know, maybe there's a difference between these batteries. Maybe the power stack has more oomph than the power pack. I don't know. And speed 2. Wow. Let's just try this. Yeah, it went down a little bit further on the second try. I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if the power stack battery, stacked lithium, has more power than tabless cells now. I'm beginning to wonder. Okay. Now, we're done with that one. I'm beginning to wonder. Or, is the safety on this fucking thing's up? Because this does not have a safety on it. The Ryobi, no safety, none. And it's almost as powerful as the DeWalt, but it doesn't have any safety yet, which is maybe actually a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe safety suck. I don't know. I'm not a contractor. Okay. Let's remove these two. We got all this done right now on these. Okay. Now, let's see what's next. I tell you, sometimes safety doesn't help. When a much cheaper Ryobi doesn't have it, and the DeWalt does have it. I don't know. Too bad there's a way not to turn this thing off. Probably not. No, one thing, I get tired of the red lights on it. It's like I'm at a circus. Okay. Now, we're going to run this big one. One drill at a time, as long as I don't strip the head out. We all know that the smaller, wimpier drills are not going to do it on speed 2, but let's see how far they can go. Okay. Brushless Milwaukee. Okay, let's see how far I can go. That was in speed 1. Now let's try speed 2. I'd rather doubt it. We all know it'll do it in speed 1. Of course, look at that. Speed 1. Okay. Now, back into the 860. Starting to strip. So let's stay in there. Okay. Now, let's try it in the flex compact. In speed 2. Yeah, it did it in speed 2. Okay, now that impresses me that the flex went that far with just another 100 inch-pounds. This is starting to get pretty hot. And that was speed 2. Okay. Ooh, it's getting hot, I can tell you that. And what's making it hot? The impact of the drills. I think the impact is doing it. Okay. Let's go on to the Ryobi Cryobi. See if it can do it in speed 2. I kind of, probably it should. It doesn't have a safety. Now let me get a glove. Speed 2. Okay. With the edge battery on, still fully charged. Wow, look at that. Oh man, that's quick. Okay. Way quicker than an impact. Tools with cells has it right. When it goes to small stuff, you're just not going to drive a 20-inch lag in there with a drill. I've never seen a 20-inch lag, but I'm sure somebody makes them. I did find a 12-inch lag at Menards. I don't want to try that. That's 5/8 thick. Going to need a big drill to do that. Okay. Now we're on to the new 801. Let's let that cool down. Now we got the 3.5 power stack on here. Let's see if the power stack can do what the power pack can't do. Now let's put it right here in speed 2 with the 3.5 power stack. Now well, at least it did it, even though it's grinding away. Now, I'm only going to be able to use this lag about one more time, then it's trash. Okay, let's pull it out. Okay, now let's pull 3.5 power stack and run the 4-amp power pack on the 801. Give that lag some time to cool down. Let me see what people are talking about. My car's in the garage, a 2005 WRX STI with less than 17,000 original miles. Family owned, The car's going to be 21 years old next month. 2 sets of wheels and tires. Not been modded. The only thing modded on it is I got 2 sets of wheels and tires. Original set of wheels and tires. Gold BBS wheels. Original tires. Perfect condition. Been sitting. Were pulled off the car when my dad bought it. Got a high performance original Subaru exhaust that I put on 3 years ago. My dad never installed. The exhaust system alone would cost $2,000 on this car. Subaru made it, and they stopped making the exhaust back in 2007 or 8. First 25 grand, it's yours. I can't afford to drive these kind of cars around. I have a real bad driving record. Cops will pull me over in a second driving that car because I don't drive cars like that at the speed limit. Don't want to even be near it. These cars attract police like shit to flies. Okay, now the 801 with the power pack. Still dropped 1 cell. Now let's try it. Probably here. I don't think it's even going to do it, but we'll see. Wow, is that hot? Drills have so much oomph. Forget it. We'll have to go to the next test. Okay. Now, I can't really want to drive that car around because I'll get in trouble with it, believe me. The police know about me and my driving. Hell, I drive the other cars that over the speed limit, let alone that thing will do 180. Okay, I've had up to 135, so I don't want to get involved in doing any more of that on the expressways. Everybody and their brother with a muscle car wants to race you. I could take out Corvettes and Mustangs in the rain with this thing. All-wheel drive. This car could put down, I think it's 60% the power at the rear, 40 at the front, and I can adjust the balance on it. These cars are fucking rally cars, you know. They used to rally these back in the day, and they'd win everything. It was that Colin McRae won with these cars. Remember, he got killed in a helicopter back in '7. So, you don't find many in this shape that hasn't been beat up and tuned by some kid putting out 500 horsepower and wonder why the engine lets loose. These engines, unless you modify the shit out of the motors, and probably the transmission, it'll probably let out on you. Put it this way, I was a car guy way before you guys were born. This is way back in 1992. Let me tell you a bit about myself. You ever heard of Acura Integra? Well, back in 92, they came out with the GSR version. I bought it. It's only 18 grand. I put 12,000 bucks into it. VTEC, no turbos. That car would spin the red line in every single gear. Had a $1,000 Centerforce clutch dropped into it. The clutch itself was $1,000. The installation was $500. Did a stainless steel header. I did everything to that car. Everything but cammed it. I should have cammed it next. Had the car up to 140 miles an hour. It would redline 5th gear, and then it wouldn't go any further. It was front wheel drive. I used to buzz that thing. I used to work 25 miles away. I'd be at work in half an hour because I would drive that fast to get to my job. Because I was young, in my 20s. So I'm a lunatic with cars. I have no fear of driving fast, none whatsoever. Put me in a McLaren F1 supercar and I'll take it up to 240. I don't give a shit. You only live once. Once. You only live once. You got to experience speed. I'm nuts. I have done things. I got in trouble with the police 20 years ago, fleeing and eluding. Believe me. Never mind. That's why I don't like playing with cars anymore. That's enough. Let's move on now. Let's see what's next. We did all these. Let's move on to something else now. Let me see here. We're not going to do any of those. Let's move on to these. These are brand new legs. Just got them today. These are... Yeah, well, the car is amazing. These cars are quick. In the rain, I could take a fucking Corvette out with this car. This is all-wheel drive. All this car really needs is about 1,000,000 horsepower, and I could probably stake out Ferraris with it because Ferraris on all-wheel drive. I've seen guys take these cars up to 1,000 horsepower, but the engine's are a little iffy. I'd rather have a car that runs good and doesn't need much power, because as soon as you tune these cars, you blow something on the motor. Just leave them stock. Just, back in my day with my Integra, all I did was a stainless steel intake, a power flow so I had headers on it, an intake on it, I computer chipped it up. This is way back in the early 90s. There was a tuner in Florida that would, you send your ECU, and I mailed it to them. They tuned it. I had done so much work to that car. Like I say, I had 30 grand into that car. When I got married, I traded it. Today, I would have wanted it back. No. All-wheel drive is what you want to have for a car. That's an 05 WRX STI. If somebody doesn't buy it shortly, I'm going to just go trade it for an SUV. I can't afford to drive that around. The police will nail me. Believe me, I don't need trouble. Believe me, I've had my fair share. When you flee and elude police, it's pretty bad. And that was when I was young. I'm a firm believer, if you can think you can outrun the cop, do it. And that wasn't even with a car. It was with a pickup truck. Believe me, I have a driving record that's pretty extensive with getting in trouble. Back when I was probably before you guys were born, I had a motorcycle. I had a 93 Honda CBR 600 F2, slightly modified, crotch rocket. Took it down my local expressway up to 145 miles an hour at 5:30 in the morning. How many people are willing to do that on their way to work? That's me. I'm nuts. And I just got married a month before. I didn't give a shit. Then the next day I took my Integra up to 140 miles an hour. That car would go do 140. I put out about 200 horse out of that GSR. 140, it was stock at 160, and I made it up to 200 horse. This is over 300 horse. And with this exhaust on the car, it sounds really nice. It should. That guy at the Subaru dealer, I let them keep the original exhaust on. I didn't want it. But when he put that exhaust on it from Subaru, that was 18 years old, 17 years old, he said, that exhaust is something. I said, yeah, it's something. It cost my dad 800 hours back in the day. He didn't have time to install it, but I did. I let the guy do it. It was only, $300 to put an exhaust system on? Who cares? You only live once, and it sounds way better than the stock exhaust from Subaru. That exhaust should have came on the car. And these cars listed for $36,000 back then. Okay, let's find a lag for this. Enough about the car. Probably the next time you see me in another week, I'll have it out in the driveway. So, let me find what I'm looking for here. Okay. I'm a firm believer, if you have a car that runs, take it out and run it. Believe me. Back in the day, if you know anything about Illinois, and you know how far away Six Flags is, you know how far away Crete, Illinois is. Back in the day when I was in my early 20s, I got from here to Six Flags in less than 90 minutes. I was down the expressway doing over 100. Back then, there wasn't many police on the road. Now you can't do 100 down the road for more than a few minutes without a cop running you. Believe me, I know. There's too much traffic now with people. Way too much. Too many people on the road now. Okay. Now, this is our last test. We're going to run these brand new legs. Like I say, I'm a car nut. I just can't afford to drive this car around. I drive like a nut. And that doesn't work out. Even though I'm pushing 59, I push the other cars in the family like a nut. A couple years ago, I was flying down 394, racing the guy in a pickup truck in my mom's Impreza. I blew his ass out, right out of the water. I was doing 100 in the rain. That's in the rain with a Subaru Impreza. That's how crazy I am. I have no fear. I have done things that a lot of people wonder how they did it. I wonder how I did it when I was young. A motorcycle at 5:30 in the morning doing 145 on the expressway. I could have ran to a fucking deer at 145, but I didn't care. I just got married a month before. I wanted to have some fun, you know. People get bored. Speed 2 with the Milwaukee. Brushless. Let's try to put it in virgin wood. First of all, let's make sure the chuck is tight. I'd rather doubt it's going to go in. Okay. That's as far as she goes in speed 2. That's it on this. Let's go with speed 1. I'm sure I can finish it. Just did. Like I say, if somebody has a McLaren, let me take it out and show you how to drive it. I'm nuts. I figured you only live once in this lifetime. If you get a chance to take a car out that's worth 30 million bucks, I would do it. Especially I love that center seating position. The original McLaren F1 is the ultimate road car as far as I'm concerned. That's why they go for 30 million bucks. Not none of this paddle shift crap. You got to shift gears. Let's just remove it in speed 1. Okay, we're done using this one. That's hot. Okay. Now, believe me, I'm nuts. I also tried to outrun the police with a motorcycle. Got nailed. Only because I couldn't make the turn. When you're leaning a motorcycle over on angles, going over an overpass, and you overcook the turn, you're going too damn fast. I felt like a GP rider, like this, laying down. I should have braked a little bit sooner. Could hit the straightaway. My work was only a mile down the road. 145 on a sport bike, I would have made it there in under a minute. And the boss would have bolted the shop door up, and I would have never taken that motorcycle out again. Because I'm crazy. You only live once. You know? The lucky guys are the F1 drivers. They get to take these cars out that are worth $6 million bucks up to speeds that you and me couldn't even handle. I don't care how young you are. You got fast reflexes to run a Formula One car. It ain't NASCAR. I could drive a NASCAR all day around an oval. You know how boring that is? It's about as boring as you can get going around an oval all day. Try taking an actual road. One of my favorite roads is right next. It's about 5 minutes away. It's about 8 curves going up and 8 curves going down. Very dangerous, but I know how to take it because I've been on it for 32 years driving it. No, actually, no, since 90, 35 years driving that road. Now, speed 2 on the Flex Compact with a big old 6 amp stacked lithium. Now, let's try it in virgin wood. Now, that's right, this is the way it's going to go in now. It won't even do it in speed 1, 2. Now let's go to speed 1. Now let's remove it. Believe me, I've done things in cars and on motorcycles most people don't want to do. You ever heard of the third lane on a motorcycle? Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine who lives across the street, used to live there. He had sport bikes too. When you're on a 4-lane road and you're going north or south, and you know that both lanes are jammed, call going on the other side of the road around the WO lines. That's what it's called, the third lane. You're on a motorcycle, crack that throttle, downshift that gear, you're doing 100 in just a few seconds, right on by all the cars. He taught me that shit when I was young. We all did it. We're all crazy. Okay, let's remove it. Let's try and speed 2, but I doubt it. Nope, let's go with speed 1. Let's not use this leg now. Another hot one. That's called the third lane on a motorcycle. The only thing I like doing on a motorcycle was pulling wheelies. I didn't consider myself wanting to ride down the road up in the air like Evel fucking Knievel. Not my thing. My thing was just going fast. I never had an opportunity to ride a big bike. I would have loved in my youth, back when I was in my 20s, to bought maybe a ZX-10, maybe the ZX-11, or maybe the Hayabusa. Those are 200-mile motorcycles. You now can spend, what, 40,000, 50 on a motorcycle that does over 200 miles an hour. And that'll do it in about a mile. I'm too damn old. I'm going to be 59. I want to try that now, but I'm willing to go 200 in the right car. Okay. Those are done. Let's move on to the Ryobi Cryobi. Believe me, life in the fast lane. I got in plenty of trouble with the police. That's why I ain't dealing with it. You can't, you know, it's like trying to, what did they say about high performance motorcycles when I was young? When you take out a motorcycle that cranks out 100 plus rear wheel horsepower and you try to go the speed limit, it don't make sense. It's the same with these cars. You know, these cars are so damn fast, trying to drive it at the speed limit is like being a 90-year-old woman. That's why I rather just sell the car and not deal with it. Speed 2 on the Ryobi 2nd gen. This will turn into a great conversation about cars. Let's redo that. Okay. I've had my fair share of pull-ins with the police, believe me. One time I was driving around with 3 tickets on my license. You know what happens when you get number 4? You're screwed. Hell, one time I got 2 tickets in 1 week. Never mind. Try driving around with so many tickets. Your insurance goes higher and higher and higher and higher. And next thing you know, you're paying $500 a month to drive around. So I kind of pass on that now. Okay, let's get this done. In speed 2. Wow, they won't even do it. Speed 1. Let's remove it. Let's see if we can still do it in speed 2. Wow, we did it. Had to go for 2 tries. Now let's remove it. And that's in speed 1. Let's try it in speed 2. You should be able to do this in speed 2. Let's try another leg. That's already too hot. I keep heating these legs up and they snap on you. I don't know, I've snapped probably a couple hundred of them by now. Let's put it here. Okay, now let's see if it'll do it. Speed 2. That's where it cuts out at. Well, let's see what we can do with the DeWalt. I know enough about cars and about police. And I know where all the police hang out at. The number one enemy on the road ain't drunk drivers, it's the cops. They don't give a shit about anything other than money. You know, money, revenue, you know, for the local locals, the county, the state. It's all about money. Look at Germany. You can fly it up and down the Autobahn and what? As fast as you can go in that left lane. They ought to make these expressways with not too many ways of getting on and off them and let you go as fast as you want to get somewhere. Okay. Speed 2. Different one. It's all about the revenue. It's not about the public safety. I know. I have an ex-uncle that's a cop. It's all about the money. It ain't about your safety. If it was about safety, they'd have GPSs on our cars and governors so we can't go fast. It's another reason why I don't like all these GPSs and everything on a car. Speed 2. With the 4-amp power pack. Wow, I swear this drill here, the reason why it does this, because it had anti-kickback. Yep. Wow. Okay. Speed 1. Well, it takes speed 1, huh? Well, let's try the 3.5 power stack now. Believe me, I've had probably a couple hundred run-ins with the police. You know, it's part of life if you want to drive fast. Who can afford to go to a racetrack? Even though, secret is, I did go to racing school when I was in my late 20s. How many guys you know that went to racing school and dropped 6,000? I learned a lot of shit. The one thing I loved, I had to look behind me for a cop. I had fun. It's well worth the money in the Poconos. Believe me. Very few guys can afford to drop $6 grand on a 2-bit job. Learn how to race a 4-wheel open-air car. And I spun it in the rain. That was fun. I have done things in cars most people don't want to try. Back in my day, anybody and everybody wanted to race me when I was in my 20s. I don't care what it was. In town, out of town, wherever. Today now, if I want to race somebody, I pick the place out on the open road where I know where the police are sitting. All these towns around this area, I know where the cops sit. I pay more attention to the police than drunks. I know exactly where their little hideouts are and their slots that they sit. And I also spend a lot of money on a radar detector. I mean a lot of money, more than a week's pay. Because tickets are damned expensive. Radar detectors, even at $800, are cheap. I want to know where the enemy is. And now when you're on the road driving and you speed, the enemy's the police. It ain't the drunks. There's not too many drunks out driving 100 miles an hour. Okay, let's go with speed 2. Let's put her a fresh hole. Now, let's see if we can do this and not having a croak. Well, seemed like it went down a little bit further with the power stack. Now, let's finish it off. Now let's remove it. Now, let's try another. Let's try to do it in speed 2. Let's try another one. I got 2 more legs to go. I don't like heating these things up that much. I play with power tools now, not cars anymore. Cars will get you in a lot of trouble with the police. Whereas when I used to call them back today, hey, Mr. Officer, what you bugging me for? I'm safe. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm with the racing school. I bet people try to follow me around too. Never mind the speeds I drive. Crazy for Cocoa Puffs. You ever time a stoplight? I used to time stoplights for drag racing guys. take off a thousandth of a second before they do. Hell, my dad used to race cars on them. In fact, me and my dad raced together on roads. Speed 2. Okay, let's switch batteries out now and try the 4-amp power pack. And we raced each other down roads. We had fun when I was in my 20s. My son's a big pussy. He don't want to do that. It's probably a good thing. He'll get in trouble. He's never had a ticket in his life either. Okay. 4-amp power pack, speed 2. Let's get this thing in straight. Right about here. Okay, it's one thing I don't like about this drill, the safety stuff. Okay, let's try this with the 4-amp power pack. They both almost look the same to me. No matter how you look at it, I kind of wish there was a way to turn this thing off because of that. In here, you got a Ryobi, doesn't have it. Well, I'm kind of beat up here. Enough talking about cars and the police. Makita tools, I'm not into Makita tools. Rigid tools I'm into. I got about 6 rigid tools, including a high torque, an octane mid torque. I got the right angle impact wrench in 1/2 inch. I have the stubby impact wrench in 1/2 inch. I have the high torque hammer drill. And I don't know, I got 5 or 6 tools from Rigid. They're awesome tools. Believe me, what Rigid needs to do now, they need to redesign probably their hammer drill. Since Milwaukee, I understand, is probably going to come out with a brand new 5th generation M18 fuel hammer drill. I think Rigid needs to take some of that stuff from Milwaukee and bump their hammer drill up to 1,400 inch-pounds, 1,400 where it should be, to try to keep up with the big boys. And Milwaukee could go 1,500. And Milwaukee has the better batteries anyhow. And I think they need to redesign their I think they need to redesign their 4-mode impact driver. That'll be the next one. And they also need to redesign their high torque one more time. I was going to get the 3/4 inch high torque, but it actually doesn't put out any more power. Why don't they redesign it like Milwaukee did with their 2967? But Rigid needs some new tools. I like Rigid too, but I don't have all I got is a high torque hammer drill. That'll be in another video. It's too bad that new DeWalt 801 I have is not a hammer drill, because it will kick the ass of the brand new 806 DeWalt XR DCD hammer drill, 34,000 beats per minute. But I don't want to buy one right now. That actually smokes the Milwaukee Gen 4, the Rigid. It smokes everything but a couple hammer drills. Okay, guys, it's been an hour online here. I'm kind of beat up. Tomorrow I got things to do. I'll be going live again this weekend when it cools down. Okay, Eric the Bearded Tool Guy signing off.